In this video, I want to share with you the 4 biggest tips that allowed me to grow my channel to over 200,000 subscribers with over 33 million views in just a couple of years. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that in case anybody is confused that I'm not Nate, I'm actually Nate's brother. Nate and I both have channels. I'm Mike O'Brien, and on my main channel, I review a lot of tech. Like I said, I have 200,000 subscribers now, and Nate and I run a series of different YouTube channels. We've been working together for years, and these are the 4 biggest things I wish somebody told me when I was starting out on YouTube. Now, let's start off with the very first one. From the beginning, a lot of people struggle choosing the right topic, and this is something that I struggled with for a long time. I know Nate struggled with for a long time as well, because it feels like you need to choose the right path and just stay with that forever. And the biggest thing I learned, and I'll tell you the story in a second, is that this is not entirely true. While it's important to start in a really good place, one of the most important things is actually to adapt while you're making videos. So keep in mind that really the saying here is the best way to succeed on YouTube is to be on YouTube. You're going to learn far more when you have a channel than when you're sitting on the sidelines with what we call paralysis by analysis. So I want to talk about the beginning of my channel. When I first started out, I was actually not a tech review channel at all. I've actually removed almost all of those videos, but I started off teaching people how to perform better on exams, how to do better on tests like the SAT, stuff like that, which is obviously completely unrelated to where I am now. But I promise there was a logical evolution to where I got. I didn't just suddenly change one day, and where I started was a decent place to start. Now, when I started, the first 1,000 subscribers, the first actually 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, were all from that subject right there, how to do well on tests. But eventually, I got to the summer, and right around summer, I realized my views declined drastically. My subscribers stopped watching videos because they weren't in school anymore. They didn't have tests, and they didn't care about what I was telling them. So that's when I kind of had the realization that what I thought was going to be a good channel actually wasn't as good as it really could have been. I learned something new that I really hadn't thought about in the beginning. And so I kind of came to a crossroads, and I decided that I needed to change my channel. I needed to adapt. And I talked to Nate for a while, and we were thinking about how I could change my channel, and I ended up going more into the back to school type stuff. I talked about the best laptops you could get, the best things like that you could get when you're going back to school. And these videos performed exceptionally well. Now these videos, like the best laptop for students, like I said, performed exceptionally well. But over time, I realized they performed even better than a lot of my best student videos. And from this, I realized that not only had I found a better niche now, but also this opens up more doors. And this was the first adaptation I made, was to start talking about not just student laptops, but other things as well, phones and earbuds, and it started kind of branching out, and it was all a logical progression. It wasn't just a hard turn. It might look like I just made a hard turn from student stuff into tech, but everything took small increments. And I know we're kind of getting on a tangent here. So to summarize, the first and honestly the biggest lesson is that the best way to succeed on YouTube is to be on YouTube, to make a YouTube channel and just start adapting with what kind of videos do well and which ones don't. And don't feel that you're stuck with a brand that you chose on day one. In fact, like I said, I made a complete 180-degree turn, but just over time by adapting slowly with each video. Now, of course, I don't mean to downplay the importance of choosing a good starting location. Starting off as a channel teaching people how to do well on tests was definitely no accident. It gave me the really good roots I needed to evolve to where I needed to be, and anybody who's taken our course, which I will link down in the description of this video, will know exactly what I'm talking about with the Venn diagram. It's important that when you're starting out on your channel, you choose something that is right in the middle of the Venn diagram we talked about, which kind of combines the things like what you like, what you're good at, and what the market actually wants, what YouTube wants. And when you do that, it's going to give you a really good start. Now, that brings me into lesson number 2. The second lesson was that while it is tempting to think about stuff in your head and just kind of say, like, I think this is going to be the right angle, it doesn't always work like that. And in fact, it's almost always better on YouTube and in business in general to do more testing. The more testing you can do, the more small scale stuff you can do, the better your results are going to be. So like I said, rather than just guessing where you should start, rather than guessing where you should evolve, everything you do should kind of be tested. It should be small little tests and reviewing that and then deciding which way to go. The next big thing I wish somebody told me in the beginning, and this one's a little bit more technical, this is what YouTube actually cares about. So there's really 3 things you need to do to make sure all of your videos perform as well as possible. And the first thing is actually going to be just your topic. It sounds obvious and it sounds like something that, just spend a couple minutes finding some topics, but this is where most people go wrong. So I've coached a lot of people growing their YouTube channels, And a lot of times people struggle with this one the most. They really struggle finding the right topics. And again, this is something that I'm not gonna go into too much detail in this video. We'll talk more about it in the course, but choosing a topic is very, very important. You shouldn't be able to just go and spend 20 minutes and find 100 topics, because odds are a lot of those topics are kind of just a guess. You're just saying, yeah, I like talking about that, or yeah, whatever, it might do well. You should really be doing a lot of research and figuring out exactly why each subject is going to perform well, find similar videos that did perform well, and like I said, there's a lot more behind that. Now, the second important thing here is actually your thumbnails. Again, I spend so much time on every single thumbnail. If I spend, let's say, like 7 or 8 hours making a video, I will easily spend 1 to 2 hours making the thumbnail. I spend a lot of time. I have dozens of thumbnails for each video, and I look at all of them and carefully choose exactly the right thumbnail. Again, something else we'll talk about in the course, linked down below. But the third thing is your intro. When you start talking on the camera, instead of focusing a lot about what you're talking about later on in the video. So for example, right now, we're probably at minute 10 in this video. It's very unlikely you guys are going to click off, or at least much less likely than it would have been in the first 10 seconds. So most likely the reason you're here is because the beginning of this video somehow captivated your attention. You should be spending a lot of time carefully crafting the intro to your videos. So that's the third lesson right there, is really those three things combined are what make videos perform exceptionally well. And then the fourth big lesson I learned while growing my channel to over 200,000 subscribers is that every channel out there needs to have a guiding quality North Star. And I call it a quality North Star because you want to find a channel that has really, really good quality that is far away from you and is excellent quality in your opinion, and that is your guiding North Star. You're just striving to always become as good as them. And this is something that I see a lot of people fail to do. A lot of people look at their similar channels, similar sizes, and they say, hey, my quality's better than theirs. Like, I'm doing pretty well. Or maybe this video did well, my quality's good enough. But if you want to continue to grow on YouTube, you need to always be improving your quality, your video quality, your audio quality, your speech quality, your lighting, whatever it is, you always need to be improving your quality. In fact, literally just today, I completely redid my entire audio setup because the audio quality I had before was just not quite up to par. And so this is something that you always want to be considered doing. You want to start off small, of course. If you're on a budget, that's completely fine. Don't spend $10,000 on a setup, but over time, you want to make sure that you're improving everything. So to summarize, guys, the 4 big lessons that I learned while growing my channel, the first one is that you need to adapt. Don't feel like you have to choose a starting point and stick with that for absolutely forever. It's completely possible to adapt, and in fact, you really need to adapt in order to find success. The second big thing is that when you are adapting, it's really important that you test everything. Don't just guess and start changing your channel. Test things out and start looking at what actually works, what works better, and have a decisive movement for why you're adapting. The third thing is really the big 3 with what YouTube cares about. And rewind if you want to see those again, but those are really how you're going to make a viral and explosive video. And then the fourth thing is that you need to always improve your quality, but not just blindly. You really need to have a North Star. You need to have a guiding direction with how to improve your quality, what needs to be improved next, and a bigger, better channel is almost always a great way to do that. So guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, consider subscribing. This is a brand new channel, so this is only the second video we're releasing. So go on down, click the subscribe button. Nate and I have many more videos just like this one coming out, packed with value based on our own experience, our conversations with other YouTubers, and our own research as well. So if you're interested in that, like I said, click the subscribe button. We also have a course we just released on how to create a YouTube channel. So if you enjoyed anything in this video and you want to know more details about that, we went fully in depth with hours and hours of content, breaking down exactly how we make thumbnails, exactly how we find topics, channels, everything we do from very beginning to, once you have a large channel, how to keep growing. So guys, that's everything I have for you in this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.